Driven by poverty or simply a desire for expensive things, young women are dating older men in exchange for money, gifts, and status.
The guy that I was in love with me used to do everything for me, but look, at the end, my dream now has been shattered.
They are destroying themselves by falling in love with older people. Some are even old enough to be their grandparents.
I'm told there are the so-called 3 C's, women in tertiary institutions who want credit cards, they want cars, and they want cell phones. And you often hear people talking about the Minister of Communication, the Minister of Housing.
Sugar daddies are especially common with tertiary students who are often strapped for cash but want to keep up with the latest fashions.
It's pretty common amongst students, so definitely ask anyone and they'll tell you the same thing.
If you see all those Brazilian hairs and the Indian hairs and the nails and the bags they carry to school, most definitely there are.
I've been approached by many sugar daddies. It's just that I don't want one because I don't want to be dating someone older than my dad.
I remember some of the women saying that dating a married man was like so much easier because they got all the benefits from dating a married man. I'm not saying it's right, but I think it is something that's very common.
But you go past the salon and you see that hairpiece there and you ask how much is it, they tell you 3,000 rand for just a small piece. So you think, oh, if only I had a man who's going to pay that for me.
But it's not only university students who are getting caught in the trap. Schoolgirls make ideal prey for these men as they have fewer resources and are dependent on their families for money. Democracy was in grade 11 when an older man approached her at her local bar in a township on the outskirts of Nelspruit. At first she wasn't interested until her friend convinced her that dating a rich older man would have its benefits.
She said, you should date him. I mean, he's going to give you money and everything you want. And he's going to buy us booze. And I was like, no, I don't want to. But she forced me, not to say she forced me, but she pressurized me until I agreed.
That night, after he plied her with drinks, she went with him to a hotel. And the next morning, her friend was proved right.
He didn't do anything. I just slept next to him. Then at the morning, he gave me 500 rand just for sleeping next to him. And I was like, what? And I told my friend, he gave me 500 just for sleeping next to him. So I told you, really, he's loaded. I mean, he's full of money. He's going to buy you everything and travel with you around the world.
It wasn't long before their relationship became a sexual one.
A sugar daddy relationship, you'd find that the girl is in this relationship because there is money or gifts that she gets from this man. And the man would be getting sex out of this. So it's your sex in exchange for favors, money. And favors could be money, it could be gifts, it could be other things. And in these types of relationship, the older man is not in this relationship for marriage maybe. He could be having his own family. And he is just in this relationship with this young woman.
Democracy knew that her sugar daddy had a wife and family, but was caught up in her new lifestyle, where for the first time her wallet was always full and she could spoil herself. As a teenager in high school, the temptation was too much.
By that time, I didn't have money to do my hair on time and my lashes. So I had to wait maybe a month with the same hairstyle. And then he came around. When I was with him, I do my hair within 2 weeks. I changed my hair, I put on lashes and nails. Like, everyone was dating a sugar daddy. My friend, me, like, it was a life, exciting life.
Unused to being pampered, her new glamorous life was her only priority.
What is primary to this young girl is that I'm going to look nice because this person provides my clothes. Therefore, I am prepared to, compromise my dignity, my body just for the sake of the clothes.
Sugar daddies are more often than not showering these gifts on many other women.
So it plays in also into these masculinities of how some men define themselves. What I call risky masculinities, where men want to define themselves by the number of women that they have. And the more younger the better, because it's almost a sense of showing your virility, that I'm still very potent, I'm active.
When Democracy found out about his other girlfriends, she realized the dangers of the relationship and ended it.
I was afraid that maybe he'd sleep with that girl without a condom and then want me to do the same. I might end up falling pregnant or getting HIV or any other disease from him.
Despite the risks, many women see sugar daddies as an easy way to get the things they want.
Young women not being taught to look forward to a time when they'll be independent, when they will be able to get things for themselves, work to get things for themselves. So it's like it's promoting the thing that, you know, you need to get a man to get a better life.
Democracy's chances of creating her own bright future were damaged by the relationship. The distractions of always being available for her sugar daddy meant she neglected her schoolwork and failed her matric.
It's quite easy because you get the man just by sleeping with him, not by working hard. It's not a life. I mean, he was using me and paying me for it. It's like I was selling myself to him. So I'm not going to do that anymore.
Democracy now feels that she deserves love and respect from a relationship.
Sugar daddies are not good. That they'll use them, and then get tired of them. Like when you're chewing a gum, you're going to chew it and chew it and chew it. And when they're sweet, it's over, then you're going to throw it out. Yeah, like a trash.
The sugar daddy trend is common throughout South Africa, but there's nothing sweet about them. The futures of thousands of young women are being destroyed by their relationships with older men. NONHLANHLA met her sugar daddy almost 20 years ago when he approached her at school. She was just 17 years old at the time.
One lady came and said, there's a guy who's looking for you. And then I was saying, there's no guy who will be looking for me. Then say, I think it's your father or something. No, my father passed away a long time when I was 10 years. Then when I went out, it was this guy. And then I asked him, what do you want? Then he said, I like you when you were out from your house. Then I followed you to school. What are you eating for lunch? And then I said, nothing, because my mom is not working, my aunt is not working. Then he said to me, let's go somewhere and then I'll buy you something to eat. Then we go.
Giving in to her hunger, she allowed him to take her out for food. After that first meeting, it wasn't long before she was his girlfriend.
He started to give me money. A day he will give me 500, go and buy something at the house. Tomorrow I'll come and pick you up after school, and then we'll go. I'll go with you so that you can go and buy some clothes for yourself, so that when we go to the parties, you look nice. Then he'll give me money for hair and all the stuff.
NONHLANHLA's family knew about their relationship, but allowed it despite the almost 20-year age gap between them.
I explained to my aunt the whole situation, and then she said, as long as he's gonna help us in the house, because you can see that I'm struggling and your mom is not working, your mom is very sick with sugar, so you can go along with him as long as he's doing everything, buying us food and all the stuff, because we used to sleep without food.
NONHLANHLA began to fall in love with the man who was her family's savior.
At first, I was not like sure that I love him, but when he starts doing all the things in the house, as I said, buying food, buying clothes, buying me something to eat at school, I thought that he loved me, and then I started to love him.
A few months later, she lost her virginity to him.
I did ask him, why don't we use a condom? He says, don't worry, I'm safe. You are safe with me. Don't worry about the condom. Nothing will go wrong.
She never felt she could insist on using a condom.
I was afraid of getting pregnant, but then because he was doing everything, then I had to do it because I felt like I owe him, so I need to pay him with something.
All she had to pay him with was her body. Studies show that the bigger the age gap between sexual partners, the less likely condoms are to be used.
And how do I engage this man? How do I negotiate for a condom with somebody who's old as my father? Will I be able to say, can we use this? And even if you can introduce it, if he doesn't want to use it, you're gonna lose your gifts if you don't do it. When a young woman is in this type of a relationship, power becomes unequal. The man comes from the powerful situation. Power as in age, power as in even the finances. So when you are in this powerless state, you can't talk to him about his other girlfriends, I think. You can't, even if you know that there's another person in this relationship, you can't negotiate safe sex.
NONHLANHLA was devastated to find out about his other girlfriends and his family at home.
I thought he would make me his wife, but then after finding out that he's having wife and kids, he denied everything, and then that's when I see that he was lying to me. He was after what he's after.
In grade 11 at the time, she discovered she was pregnant.
Can you imagine a 14-year-old who now has to become a mother? A child now has to look after another child. What does that mean? It means this child has now become an adult. Before they've even enjoyed their childhood, they now have to take responsibility for somebody else.
At just 17 years old, her life began to fall apart.
When I go to book for antenatal, that's when they took the test. Then I found out that I'm HIV positive, and then by that time there was no nevirapine, no ARVs, no nothing. It made me feel bad because I started not eating in the house because I was like crying the whole time. Why did he betray me like this? Why did he take my virginity like that? Thinking that I'm gonna die. I think that I'm gonna die because at that time people were dying today and every day.
Research shows that the majority of new HIV infections in South Africa are amongst young women between the ages of 14 and 24, and older men between the ages of 30 and 49. It's clear that sugar daddy relationships are a main driver of new HIV infections.
When you talk to some of these young girls, they will tell you older men don't want to use condoms. They don't want to use protection. So you can imagine sugar daddies by nature, by their definition, is not usually one relationship. It's usually multiple relationships that are happening at the same time. Now, if this man has relationships with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 women and does not use protection, you can imagine what the implications are in that situation. If one of them has an STI in that ring, the results are too ghastly to contemplate. That may be infecting all the partners. And
the wife of NONHLANHLA's sugar daddy was also infected with HIV by her husband and died a few years later. It's likely that his other girlfriends also suffered the same fate.
After I found out that I was HIV positive, I wanted to get out to the relationship. Then he started to be abusive, beating at me. He had a rope in his car. He will take a rope and hang it at the back and hang me to the leg or to the neck, and then he'll just take me, roll with me and take me to the dam, say I'm a bitch, I need to wash myself and all this stuff. It was very painful. I felt very bad because I was really raised in an abusive family. My father used to beat my mom when I was young. I would watch my father. It was like a sheepin here at home.
There are 9 million children in South Africa growing up without fathers. For some young girls, the attention of an older man represents something they've never received at home.
You know, girls will tell you, my father has never hugged me as a father. My father has never told me that he loves me. Now, if this girl meets a scrupulous old man in the street, somewhere who offers to buy her a drink, is willing to embrace her, is telling her how much he loves her, you know, there's that search for a father figure in your life that people think we can substitute that which I miss at home by this man who has time for me.
It's important that fathers play bigger roles in raising and caring for their children.
There's no man in his right mind who will agree that his 14-year-old can have a relationship with a 30-year-old man. You know, most men, if you ask them, what if it was your daughter? You know, they will tell you, no, I will kill that man. But he finds it nothing wrong to do it to someone else's daughter because it's something detached from him, far from him. But if he begins to relate to his children as closely as a father should, he will therefore see another child just as his daughter.
At the age of just 18, NONHLANHLA was a mother, HIV positive, and trying to finish her matric. All of her dreams came abruptly to an end.
I felt very bad because I had plans, so many plans that when I finish school, I want to go and do chartered accounting at varsity, and then starting to have a man who will love me and get married and have kids and have my own place. But look, at the end, my dream now has been shattered.
Bailey and Constance were proud parents of 3 beautiful children. One of them 17-year-old matric student Thobile, a bright and beautiful young girl.
She was a very lovely girl, interested in education, because my motivation to her was that if you become educated, you can overcome any challenge in your life. And it's only through education where she cannot be abused. Very quiet girl, but she was focused.
Although she loved learning, Thobile, like any teenager, also liked fun and was looking forward to her upcoming matric dance.
We went there for the dress to fit, and it was a lovely dress. When she wore the dress, she just gave me a hug. She said, "Mommy, you are the best. I love you so much. I think I'll be the queen on that matric dance." And I was so impressed about that.
Both dedicated teachers themselves, they believed school was a safe place for their child to learn and grow.
I received a phone call from my brother who said, your daughter is actually in love with a teacher, but you need to talk to her. So I phoned her and she admitted that no, yes, it did happen, but it didn't happen for a long time. So I got angry as a dad that no, how can you do that? You shouldn't have done something like that.
After the shocking discovery that their daughter was having sex with a teacher, their lives became every parent's worst nightmare. Upset about her parents finding out about her relationship, Thobile tried to take her own life.
And I received a call that your daughter is admitted at hospital, and went to check her, only to find that she went to a hardware, she bought poison. There's this corrosive chemical. You take it, even if you spill it on the floor, it reacts with the floor. She took it, and that's when she was admitted.
She was lying on bed and she was in big pain because she was screaming. I went next to her, I sit next to her, I asked her, "What's wrong, Toby?" She said to me, "Mommy, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for the pains that I've caused, and I know that I don't deserve that dress." I said to her, "No, you don't have to say that. What you have to look into your life now to recover, and your daddy will not scream at you. He was just angry on that day."
A few hours later, their daughter was dead. Constance, who has always had a close bond with her daughters, is still struggling to come to terms with it.
Until now, I did not find closure, because I keep on asking myself questions like, it means I'm not mother enough. Because if I have been mother enough to her, she was supposed to come to me and ask me and talk to me with anything that happened in her life, because that teacher used to give her money. In our case, we were able to give her money. We thought that we were giving her enough.
Among school and university students, sex with teachers and lecturers is a growing problem.
Sex for marks does count for intergenerational and transactional sex because the marks are a gift. So it's sex in exchange for gift or a favor. So in this case, the favor is the marks. So the student doesn't do their work because they know that they will have sex with the lecturer or the teacher and they can be passed.
In addition to money and gifts, Tobile was also receiving special treatment at school.
Under the bed, we found a memorandum of the test that was supposed to be written a week ahead. It was under the mattress, and the teacher even denied giving her that memorandum. But actually, it was a test that was written a week later, and the memorandum was given to my daughter. So that says a lot to us, that something sinister has been going on.
They found it hard to accept that any teacher entrusted with the care of someone's child would do this. The man is still working as a teacher in another school.
Unfortunately, the evidence was destroyed because then she was no longer there and the teacher could cover himself that no, it didn't happen. The only evidence we had was the SMSs over cell phones. Then when I asked the teacher, I said, no, I was helping your daughter with the science. And they said no, but even I'm an educator myself. There's no way you can explain concepts at 11 or 12 o'clock midnight. That's practically impossible.
They have lost faith in the education system.
When my children wake up early in the morning going to school, I'm getting a bit nervous. I don't know what will happen. When I receive a phone call from school, so many things comes into my mind. Maybe my child has been raped.
Whilst thousands of girls across our country have unwanted pregnancies and are infected with HIV as a result of sugar daddy relationships, Bailey and Constance have suffered the ultimate consequence.
They are destroying themselves by falling in love with older people. Some are even old enough to be their grandparents. So that is the problem, that it is there, it's happening in our communities. Tobile's case is a practical example, because I would also call that teacher a sugar daddy, because you can't expect a 37-year-old to go out with a 16-year-old. I mean, to me, it's so unacceptable, because you are giving that child money and you're expecting other favors from her. It's completely unacceptable. So it is time that communities need to stand up and face the truth.